Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Adventures with Rhonda, and today we are talking about our purpose tracker. It's all well and good to have the information about, asking yourself those questions about are you on purpose? And if you haven't listened to it, go back and look at my videos about purpose seekers. And today we are talking about how to figure it out. A lot of times we get all this information and we just need a visual plan. We just need to see it. We just need to look at it and go, okay, I can do this. Nothing too complicated, nothing too crazy, because we have a lot to do with our lives and we need to make sure that we know the simple steps to build the best bridge to get where we're going. So today I have here Purpose Tracker. I am so glad I'm able to talk to you right now, and I hope that this blesses your life and that this information will be life-changing and that you're going to be better after viewing this. And so let's not waste any time. Let's get started. 3, 2, 1, here we go. And we are starting off with our Purpose Tracker. In order to be at this stage where it says that you are here, that means you have already decided that there's something in your life you're meant to do, that you are already knowing that you are meant for better and that you are meant for greatness. And now is the time to begin. And so what I have here are the steps. I've got A, B, C, and then at the top is your purpose. Now, there are some things that you need to talk about in your mind, things that you need to talk to yourself and ask yourself some questions. Now, purpose is a huge, huge step to finding out what it is that you are in this world and that you're meant to do. So like I said before, you can go back and review my videos from the first one and the second one about purpose seeking and find out more information. But today we're tackling being on purpose and knowing that you have a purpose. And now I've created the purpose checklist because there are some things that you just need to know, 3 fundamental things to know to make sure you're on the right track. Because you don't want to be on your way trying to get through your purpose tracker and then you start to go, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. And you ended up dropping off the step and going all the way back to the beginning. And we don't want to be at rock bottom. We want to go straight to the top because we are meant for greatness. All right, so now as we look at the purpose checklist that I have here are questions to ask yourself if you're not quite sure. Have you made it to the right road? Are you on the right way to get to your purpose? Because if you're over here and your purpose is there, then there's a big problem because you have distanced yourself from where you should be. And so the goal today is to reunite you with your purpose and bring you back to where you should be because you know you are meant for greatness. So the purpose checklist, the first thing on the purpose checklist is this what I'm supposed to do with my life? So when you're trying to make a decision on what to do, what road are you going to take? Am I going to be a lawyer? Am I going to be a doctor? How do I figure this thing out? Well, do you have a list of the things that you are great at? What is it that makes you number one at what you do? People know you for your excellence. There's something great about you, as well as people know you for things that you may not be the best at. So they know not to call you if they need advice as far as in building a home, because that kind of stuff is complicated and you don't want to be a part of it. That's not what makes you enjoy life. That doesn't bring you happiness. So they're not going to call you for your advice on that information. But if they know that you are great at design and that you can see an empty space and know what goes here, there, everywhere, and you can bridge it and make it beautiful, then guess what? People are attracted to your purpose because they see something greater in you and it draws them to you. Now, again, if you are on your track to be a purpose seeker and to find out what you're doing, you need to ask yourself these things. Is this what I'm supposed to do with my life? Am I meant to be a lawyer? Am I meant to be maybe even a teacher? These questions are all about what we are good at, the greatness that we have in us that drives our passion. And so if you feel like, well, this job is not where I'm supposed to be. I don't know how I know, but I just know this job does not feel right for me to be in. So reevaluating that, making sure that you know that you're in the right place, in the right space, right? And so secondly, is it going to make you better? So when you're looking at what options you have, is this going to make me better? Is talking to you going to make me better? Is starting that relationship with that person going to make me better? Or is it just going to block me from my blessings? We've got people who build and we've got people who block. And so we don't want to find ourselves tied to people who are blocking our blessing. You know, when you're with somebody, they make you better, right? They should make you better by seeing your faults and finding ways to help you improve yourself. Now, if they see your flaws and degrade you, disrespect you, then that relationship is not for you. Relationships are for building, growing. Yeah, you're going to grow. You're going to grow stronger or you're going to grow weaker. At some times in our life, at some points, we have grown. Whether it be for good, whether it be for bad, you have grown in an area of your life, whether it be good, whether it be bad. But we want to make sure it's on the right track and it's a good thing. You can grow angry with somebody. You can grow hatred. You can grow resentment. But you can also grow joy. You can grow love. You can grow happier. You can grow joy. Because you are growing, but what are you growing at? That's a whole separate video that I have planned. So stay tuned. Be on the lookout for that one because that one's going to be coming. But today, what are you doing? What is making you better? So remember that first question was we were asking, is this what I'm supposed to do with my life? The choice that you make for your occupation, is that what you're supposed to be doing with your life? How does that make you feel if you say, I want to be this? I want to be a nurse. I want to be a construction worker. I want to do this. I want to do that. How is that making you feel? Is it making you feel like you don't even want to be there? Do you feel like this is not the place for you? Something inside of you saying, no, this isn't quite it. It's okay not to be at that place because guess what? You're figuring it out. You need to say, oh, well, okay, I don't need to be there. That's not my calling. That's that. You know what? And don't feel bad if it's not your calling because guess what? Everybody has different jobs to do. If you cannot be in that position because you don't feel, passionate about it, you don't feel something that's, there's something that you lack and miss and that you just don't know inside of you is like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't want to be here. There's something more. It's okay because it's helping you pinpoint your purpose. Now, the second thing, is it going to make me better? Is that choice going to make me better? Before I say or sign on the dotted line, is this going to make my life better? Is this improving me or is this going to tear me down? And then lastly, friends, what are the consequences? Okay, what happens if I take that job position? And does it all end up working out according to my purpose? Yeah, it's amazing. Those three things will be so much more powerful once you break it down before you make those decisions so you'll understand where you should be. So if I ask myself, is there something I'm supposed to be doing with my life? Is it something that I'm supposed to be doing with my life? If your decision for that job, if you don't feel like that's a part of your purpose, a part of your life, your plan, then is that the right decision to make? And secondly, is it going to make me better? Is taking that position going to make me better in the long run? Is it going to, propel me to my goal? And then the third thing, what are the consequences? So if I do make that choice, what's going to happen? Is this part of my purpose? Or another way to say it, is this what I'm supposed to do? Is this going to make me better? And what are the consequences to these, responses? And what is it? And so when we're looking at all these three big questions, because they're all tied to the main goal is to be on purpose. So if you're getting a job opportunity and if they're offering you some money, they're offering you this, and giving you this whole list, this whole, spiel of everything that they want to provide for you, guess what? Think about these three things. Is it what I'm supposed to do with my life? Is it going to make me better? And what are the consequences? What's the consequences to the yes or the no that you give? Because when we look at it as a whole, the main goal is to get to the purpose. But we have to get through some steps to get there. Now, if we are so confused, if we're so unaware of what's going on, then we have trouble tracking our purpose. But if we ask ourselves those three questions, those three huge questions, that will help you on your way to success. To think about the end game. We need to know, if this is this job really going to lead me to everything I'm trying to get to? Is this a part of the plan? And if you think about it and you look at it and you're going to be going, this is nowhere near where I'm supposed to be. This is not even close to where I want to be. It's time to reevaluate it. It's time to say, you know what? I need to make a different choice. And when you make that choice, you have to have those three things in mind to help you make it easier. Those things are just ways to get you to the right mindset, because if you're not thinking about the end of it, then you're just going to be wandering your way through it. And we don't want to spend years of our life wondering and wandering and wandering and wandering and trying to figure out, oh man, if I didn't take that job, I wouldn't have been at this place. I could have been over here instead of right there. We need to figure it out, because we don't want to waste time. We don't want to waste the years of our life doing things that we weren't meant to be in. We don't want to be in jobs that were meant for somebody else. We don't want to be in a place that makes us just despise getting up and going to work. We want to be on purpose. And so that's why we are purposely tracking what we are going to do. Write the vision and make it plain. What is it? You are here today. You are saying to yourself, I know there's something more. I know there is something more that I am meant to do. And how do I do it? I hear people talking all the time. Oh, if you do this, this, and 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 they give you this whole long spiel, and it's so tedious, and you're just like, oh my goodness, can somebody just draw me a picture? Give me a few things to kind of work on to get me started, because finding your purpose can be overwhelming when you begin the process. But once you understand what you're looking for, you know the right decisions to make to get there. And so just reviewing this one more time. In order to be able to track your purpose and to make sure you're on the right track, let's review again. The first thing is this what I'm supposed to do with my life? Ask yourself that. Is what I'm doing right now what I'm supposed to be doing with my life? Is that job you're in, is that place you're in, is that where you're supposed to be? Do you feel in your heart, in your spirit, what are you feeling about where you are? And then once you have that inkling to say, well, wait a minute, this isn't it. Or maybe, oh yeah, this feels right, but how do I get more? Then guess what? We're talking about all of these things, because once you know if this is and isn't for you, you know what to do. Because then you know, if it's not for you, guess what? Maybe you don't need to be there. And if it is for you, how can I be better at it? Okay? So these three things we're looking at. Is this what I'm supposed to do with my life? When you're presented with an opportunity, is this what I'm supposed to be doing with my life? And secondly, is it going to make me better by being in that position? And thirdly, what are the consequences? What are the consequences if I say yes? And what are the consequences if I say no? If I take that job, what are the consequences? I'm moving to a different location. I'm leaving family. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. What are the consequences? In order to make sure you are picking the right things, that making sure you're on purpose, we need to look at those three big questions and think about the answers to those. And once you realize that you are or you are not on the right track, well then guess what? It's time to get back on board. It's time to realize, yeah, I'm here. I'm starting out at the bottom, but guess what? I know that I need to be here. And then you write, what is your here? What is it, your purpose? What are you supposed to be doing at this point in your life? At the end of the time that you have, where do you see yourself here? What have you done to get here? Are the choices you're making at each of these levels, is that the right choice? Are you on your way? Are you finding yourself, ooh, wow, slowly moving up that ladder. So let's say if you wanted to be a doctor, and if you're starting off, you know that you want to do that. So you can write here, I want to be a doctor. And then that next step is, what are you going to do about it? Well, I'm going to need at least a bachelor's degree, or if you're still in high school, you need to be writing high school, or if you're still taking classes, you can say that I need to get my bachelor's degree. After I get that bachelor's degree, guess what? I need to find out what I need for the next step. I need to know if I have that bachelor's degree, I need to go ahead and find out where I'm going to have my residency, where I'm going to be, what kind of doctor am I going to be, and go from there. And then you decide, okay, I want to fulfill my dream in being a professor of education for being a doctor. So maybe I need to take some leadership classes. Maybe I need to go ahead and enroll in some kind of, higher education to teach me about being a professor, or teaching me to be a leadership in a doctoral capacity. And so my purpose may be to be over a hospital to help change people's lives and to help future doctors be better at what they do and to help people. So we're seeing how these steps are affecting us. We see how these steps are so easily to think about once we break it down and the right questions to ask ourselves. So, but if I'm wanting to be that doctor, but if I'm deciding I don't want to go into taking all biology classes, maybe I'm just going to go ahead and get I just want to work on a few classes here or there. Is that getting us to where we're going to be? If you got to start off small for your goal, well, guess what? You shouldn't be taking classes that are unrelated to what your goal is. So if I want to be a doctor, should I be over here trying to take things that are not going to build me credit to get that bachelor's degree that I need, that's going to provide me with that ability to get my residency and become a doctor and practice? So are these things tied to my purpose? Maybe you don't know what particular fields you want to be in, but you do know you want to be a doctor. You know that you are meant to help people. Well, you can get your core classes for that program that you may need. So if whatever the core is for that degree that you have to have in order to pursue a doctorate in any particular field, then you go ahead and you earn that bachelor's degree. Because guess what? Asking yourself those questions. Is me taking these core classes, is this what I'm supposed to do with my life? Is this going to help me get to where I need to be? Well, yeah, you get those core classes out of the way. You give you a little bit more time to decide specifically what area of your doctoral field you want to be in. And you're not wasting any of your time because you're still using those classes to propel you to where you want to be in a doctor's program and to be in charge and have that leadership capacity. And so then also, is it going to make me better? Is taking those classes going to make me better? Yes, I'm going to need to know the anatomy of the human body if I want to be a physician. I need to know science in order to be a physician. So think about it. Yes. And what are the consequences? If I take these classes now and they are for my core, my consequence is I'll be able to obtain a bachelor's degree and meet the requirements I need to be a doctor. It furthers you along. Now, if I take classes that are unrelated to being a doctor and not part of the core, what the consequence is, I'll have to take more classes in order to get there when I could have taken them at the beginning, even though I wasn't quite sure specifically what particular physician I wanted to be. We're starting off small because you know what? Sometimes we can have our plan and we go, oh, but there's so many other opportunities. There's so many things. I want to be a doctor, but I didn't know I could be a doctor of medicine. I didn't know I could be a doctor of education. I didn't know I could be a doctor of these other fields. But if you get starting off with that core that you know specifically you want to help people physically, then you get those core classes down. You may want to help be a doctor and help somebody mentally or emotionally. So you get those classes, you look at those different fields and see what they require, because guess what? They all tie in to that purpose. Okay? So these are steps that are so valuable, and by going through those 3 questions, it makes it a little easier to decide. Because if we get there and we don't know, I know what my purpose is, but where do I start? I'm here because I know there's something meant for me to do, but I don't even know the first step. Well, you know your purpose. How are we going to get there? What do you have right now in front of you that are your options? Staying at a job that doesn't tie to being a doctor. Staying at a job that doesn't tie to being a teacher. Staying at a job that doesn't tie to being in whatever purpose plan that you're supposed to be in. How are you mentally coming up with where you're supposed to be? What are your steps? Because if you forget where you're going, then there's a problem. That's why it's just easier if you write down your vision, write down what your purpose is, write down what you're supposed to be doing with your life, write down. Even though you're starting here, that's a huge step, just to be here to know I have a purpose. And the first step, let me think about these 3 questions. Is this what I'm supposed to do with my life? Is it going to make me better? And what are the consequences for making that decision? It sounds easy once you understand what the value is. We can get so caught up in all of the many questions, everyday questions that we have of life, but we forget to think, what is the big picture? We can have an entire puzzle box of pieces in front of us and have no clue what that picture looks like at the end. What's your puzzle? What does your puzzle look like? Is your puzzle an advanced degree? Is your puzzle financial freedom? If your puzzle is trying to face the debt to get out, you just feel like, okay, this tracker can be used for other things too. If you got some problems with your finances, guess what? You can start right here. I want to have my finances together. I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to have to live paycheck to paycheck. Well, what do I need to do? Is this job what I'm supposed to be doing with my life? How is this contributing to my financial stability? Is it going to make me better? And what are the consequences if I leave this position or go look for a better one? Track your purpose. Yeah, I may need to earn more money by getting a different job or getting another job. Then I need to save the money and I need to start paying off my debt. Okay? So we're looking at this, we can go, oh, well, first thing I need to do is get a better form of income of earning more money, or take away some things that are not helping me save money. B is save the money. Once you find the right place to help you make the money, save the money, and then you can write down where your money wants to be. Where are you going to put it? Okay, I'm going to put more on that debt today. I may earn an extra bonus. Guess what? I'm not going to go and spend that. I'm going to put it towards my debt. So you may say, I want to earn more money, save the money, and pay off debt. And then my next goal is to be able to have an emergency fund, and then ultimately just be debt free. Because guess what? Emergency fund, you're going to need to have money to have an emergency fund. So you need to make sure you're financially able to pay your bills and to save up for an emergency fund. And so you can get up here and go, whew, I am debt free. I mapped this thing out. I understand that I needed a plan. And okay, I've asked myself questions, and guess what? I am where I'm supposed to be. I am free of that debt. So this purpose tracker can be utilized for finances. It could be utilized for, yes, exactly what it's meant for, your purpose, where you're supposed to be. Because being in debt is not going to help you get to your main goal when you're struggling. You want to be able to be self-sufficient, be able to live productively, and have enough to help other people. Okay? So I am glad you decided to watch and stay tuned. I am going to have a copy of this down. I'm going to post it in my description box. Be on the lookout for my next video. I will be recording that right after I finish this one. And that one is going to be about finding how we should be living by how are we growing. And that video is going to be entitled, How Are We Growing? How are you growing? But I am so glad you decided to listen and to find out more about your purpose. I hope this is helpful, and this information is just to give you, just put you in the right mind frame and just think about some questions you may or may not have asked yourself and to get back on track. Because guess what? We need your purpose. We need your gift. We need the future singers who are going to bring us beautiful music. We need those future teachers who are going to make us think deeper. We're going to need those doctors to help us resolve issues and diseases. We are going to need your gifting. Your gift of listening, your gift of just being there for people, your gift of compassion. What is it that you're gifted at? What is your purpose? Track it down, find it, and live it. Thanks for watching. Until the next time, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye, friends. Until next time.